A dramatic ending to a killing spree, keeping the valley on edge for 5 days. Police say the man behind a string of murders is dead, and now we have learned who he is. Police identifying that shooter as Dwight Jones. Working on developing news where we're learning of a 5th crime scene. But first, we go to ABC 15's Nohelani Graff joining us live from Scottsdale and Shea this morning. No, hey, this all started earlier this morning when they actually tracked Jones to a hotel there.
Exactly, Danielle. They knew who they were after. Tracked Jones to an extended stay hotel that is just beyond those police cars and through the trees. In fact, Air 15 giving us an even clearer view of that scene back there. And at one point, we even saw a robot that the SWAT team often uses to make sure that a scene is safe for their officers to go in. And when they eventually did make their way into Jones's hotel room, police say that's where they found his body, an apparent suicide. But you can also just picture the moments leading up to that, tense and frantic as SWAT teams worked their way through the hotel to get other guests to safety when suddenly they heard gunshots from inside Jones's room.
There were multiple shots fired from inside that room while evacuations were going on in adjacent rooms.
And so at this point, investigators are now trying to figure out how Jones is connected to each of his victims. They're only saying so far that ballistic evidence was able to connect the first 4 victims, a forensic psychiatrist, 2 paralegals, and also a life coach. Danielle?
All right, thank you, Nohe, for giving us the latest details from that scene. About 15 miles down Shea Boulevard from that extended stay hotel, we're hearing there could be a 5th murder in Fountain Hills connected to this dangerous crime spree. ABC 15's Katie Connor will be giving us a look at that investigation a little later in our newscast. Of course, this is a very active investigation still right now, so stay with ABC 15 online, on air, and through our free mobile app for any new updates as they come in.
Well, let's talk weather now on this Weather Action Day. Meteorologist Iris Hermosillo with more on the heat.
Hey, good morning, guys. Well, we are under that excessive heat warning again today until 8 o'clock here this evening. That's when it'll expire. Temperatures again soaring to dangerous levels, and you can see that that heat warning includes most of the Phoenix area. We are already well into the 90s. In fact, we're already close to those triple digits in Phoenix as we sit at 98 degrees, 95 in Glendale and in Mesa, Avondale in the upper 90s, and Chandler, you're just 1 degree shy of the hundreds. I think we're going to be in the hundreds by lunchtime, so plan accordingly. If you've got errands to run, make sure you're packing water with you and hopefully cranking up that AC. Temperatures in the triple digits through the afternoon, and we're going to come really close to 110 today, topping out at 109 degrees. That will put us about 8 degrees above the average for this time of year. That's 1 degree hotter than it was yesterday, too. So if you thought yesterday was uncomfortable, today pretty much just as uncomfortable as it was yesterday. Now, temperatures will trend down a bit the next few days, but I'll show you whether we're going to drop below 105 this week at all in just a bit.
To a crime alert now in Phoenix. Police investigating a deadly shooting near 27th Avenue in Buckeye. Officers telling us they got a 911 call saying someone was shooting at their friend's house. When police showed up, they found a man dead. Phoenix police looking for a suspect now, but right now they have not given us very many details. We will pass those along to you. A dog being flown from Phoenix to New Jersey dies during the cross-country trip, and now Delta is trying to figure out just how this happened. During a layover in Detroit, the Pomeranian named Alejandro was held in a cargo facility. Then sometime after that, a Delta Airlines official found the dog dead. The owner is now shocked and outraged.
I want to know what happened to our dog. Why did this happen?
Delta saying it is conducting a thorough review of the situation and also offered to have the dog's body evaluated by a veterinarian.
Mother Nature creating a rough ride for passengers on board an American Airlines flight heading to Phoenix. That flight from San Antonio had to make an emergency landing in El Paso because of hail damage. According to air traffic control, the pilots radioed they had virtually no visibility and could only see out of a side window. A passenger on board tweeting, "Things were flying, passengers were throwing up, scariest flight of my life." Officials say none of the 130 passengers or 5 crew members were hurt. Everyone was booked onto a different flight, and they finally made it to Sky Harbor just before midnight last night.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
SpaceX launching another satellite into orbit. It's expected to bring television, phone, internet, and other communication services to millions of people. The SES-12 is described as the largest and most powerful all-electric satellite ever produced by its builder. It's expected to have enough fuel to endure 22 years in space. Dozens of teens will get the chance today to learn what firsthand it's like to be a first responder. Scottsdale PD putting on this special camp to showcase careers in public safety. The week-long boot camp will expose teens to future careers as police officers and firefighters. Organizers aren't trying to sugarcoat anything about those careers. They'll learn how to deal with trauma, doing basic first aid and triage, as well as working closely with the K-9 unit and the SWAT teams. You can reach out to Scottsdale Police and Fire if your teen might be interested in that kind of training.
Well, the heat is on, and now the city of Phoenix is taking action, trying to prevent any tragedies out there on our trails. The city's extending trail hours so people can hike in the cooler temperatures. All of North Mountain Park, Piestewa Peak, and Pima Canyon trailheads at South Mountain are now open from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. And remember, you got to dress for that heat too. Bring plenty of water and make sure that someone knows where you are. Also bring your cell phone. The fire department says they had at least 2 rescues on Cholla Trail just yesterday. Well, still ahead, this smart shopper deal of the day sure is grand and backed by popular demand. We're helping you cool off and enjoy a staycation right here in the Valley.
To our live poll of the day, with the triple-digit temperature out there, we want to know, how do you plan to stay cool in the heat? Log on to abc15.com/poll. Let us know. Do you plan to stay inside, head to the pool, or maybe get out of town?
A mama bobcat and her 2 kittens that were living in the attic of a Cave Creek family's home are finally back together this morning. They are all at the Southwest Wildlife Conservation Center getting their vaccines and growing a little more before they're let back out into the wild. Mom somehow managed to squeeze in through an opening in the family's roof. Experts tell us it is bobcat baby season, so homeowners should keep an eye on their property.
And they'll find places like the attic that are safe spots to, have their kittens. They don't want to have them out in the open, and typically cats will try to find a quiet, dark spot.
The Conservation Center will keep an eye on those cats for about 2 months before they are released together as a family. So many people remember the classic TV show Cops. Well, there is another show taking over, and Arizona is one of its stars. Pinal County Sheriff's Office deputies are one of the law enforcement agencies featured on the show Live PD on the A&E network. Each episode documents deputies' daily shifts. Over the weekend, fans were out at Santan Valley, the substation there, to meet those 5 deputies who star on the show.
I just went to Hawaii and I was going to recognize in Hawaii. Going to the grocery store is a little different now.
I think it's good for the kids to grow up learning that, police aren't anything to be feared. They're here for us. They're here for our safety.
The event was all to raise money for the Sheriff's Benevolent Fund.
Trending right now, a man's wedding photos going viral after he feared that he would never get married because he has cerebral palsy. The heartfelt photos show Justin Bosvert. Hope I said that right. He's crying as his wife comes down the aisle. The groom never imagined he'd be able to even get a date after being diagnosed with that disease. The two making it official with a kiss, the first dance at the reception before going on a honeymoon to Mexico. As for the kids, the newlyweds say they're going to take their time getting to that point. That says it all right there.
Oh, I love that. And of course, as the bride, you look to your husband, you want to see his face as you walk down the aisle. I'm sure she had tears.
That's the reaction
streaming
right there.
down as well. Congrats to them. Great to see that. Well, how far does President Trump's power go? Some new insight from a leaked memo tied to the Russia investigation.
This week you may want to just avoid those outdoor activities or start really early. We're already hot out there. We'll talk about those temperatures and how much higher they'll climb in your most accurate forecast.
We are on White House watch today as President Trump's lawyers argue that he has broad powers over the Russia probe investigation. A 20-page memo was leaked out, written by the president's legal team, and turned over to the Mueller investigation. Claims that the president cannot be found guilty of obstruction of justice, that he has constitutional powers to stop the Russian meddling investigation, and can even pardon himself. The president's personal lawyer playing down the idea of a self-pardon.
It would lead to probably an immediate impeachment. You get the House, Senate be under tremendous pressure. President Trump has no need to do that. He didn't do anything wrong. This is a terrible investigation.
The president will meet with the vice president and the secretary of defense today before attending the Gold Star family's reception this afternoon with the first lady. The Red for Ed movement is pushing forward, hitting the streets, hoping to get lawmakers to invest long-term in education. Hundreds of teachers across the state are aiming to collect 225,000 signatures to get an initiative on the November ballot that would bring $700 million for education. The money would go toward teacher pay and classrooms.
we really want to make sure that we have more than we need. We really would like to set a record and say that, you know, education is this important in this state to this many people.
Teachers say they will be out every weekend until the July 5th deadline, collecting as many names as they can.
It used to be a place where a kid could be a kid, but this weekend protesters filled Toys R Us stores in New Jersey. That's where the company's based, and they just announced that 30,000 employees will be getting laid off without severance.
My life insurance is with Toys R Us. My medical, Toys R Us. 401k is with Toys R Us. I have to start all over.
Protesters from all across the country, including here in Arizona, they got together for this rally. Toys R Us announced earlier this year they were closing or selling every store in the U.S. after filing for bankruptcy. Just 2 stores are still open here in the Valley. They're looking for someone to buy out the company, but say the offers so far have just been too low.
Let's switch gears right now. Something that is not too low is our temperature. We wish we could be saying that, but it's right about how hot it should be this time of year, I guess, right?
Well, kind of. Technically, the 30-year average is 101, so we are running above average. We are above it,
so
but
worse.
Either way, it's a mental thing, right? We start to get into that mode where we know this heat is coming, but today, important to be extra cautious as those temperatures soar well above average and reach potentially dangerous levels. In fact, as you look at temperatures right now, or at least the difference between temperatures from 24 hours ago, we're already running warmer than this time yesterday across many parts of our state. We've hit those upper 90s in spots like Kingman, where we're at 97. Bullhead City, you're up to 99. We've already hit those triple digits at Lake Havasu, Quartzsite, and Gila Bend, and Phoenix Sky Harbor already to 98 degrees. So it is heating up fast. And when we talk about this dangerous heat, you got to know that these hot temperatures tend to lead to an increase in heat illness, and that is why we've got those heat alerts in effect, because this heat can potentially be dangerous if you're not being careful. Upper 90s already in Ahwatukee and Chandler, but look at those triple digits around the valley. Queen Creek, you've made it to 102. Glendale 100. Peoria 103 degrees already. So as you make those plans for the next few hours, maybe you've got lunch planned or you're just heading out to run errands, maybe pack some water with you, maybe find an inside place to eat where there's air conditioning, because look at those temperatures. Will likely be in the hundreds in Phoenix by lunchtime, 106 by 2 o'clock, and today's high temperature 109 degrees. That'll put us 8 degrees above the average for this time of year. It's also a degree hotter than where we were yesterday. So if you thought yesterday was uncomfortable, then it's possible that today is not going to be the most comfortable day for you either. Again, as you look at those temperatures, we'll likely hit 108 in Mesa, 107 in Peoria, Goodyear topping out at 109 degrees. Anthem, you'll be hot too at 105. We could even see temperatures sneak up to 110 in spots like Ahwatukee and Maricopa this afternoon. And the valley is not the only hot spot. Look at those temperatures to our northwest. Lake Havasu hitting a high of 109 today. Bullhead City 111 degrees, and Sedona could hit the triple digits today at 100 degrees this afternoon. So the risk is there, of course, for temperatures above 105. The risk is there for sunburn and UV exposure. It's in the high range. Also the high range for dehydration, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke. And that is why we are under that excessive heat warning. And it's not just the valley now. You'll notice northwest Arizona also under that alert. For the Phoenix Metro, that excessive heat warning in effect until 8 o'clock here this evening. The hottest hours of the day still coming. Likely around 4 to 5 o'clock is when we'll feel those hottest temperatures, and we will likely hold on to those hundreds through that 8 o'clock hour before we start to cool off. You'll notice that excessive heat warning is officially now in effect for northwest Arizona too, right along the river until 8 o'clock here this evening. Now, we're not just talking heat alerts, we're also talking air quality alerts. So if the heat doesn't keep you inside, maybe the air quality will. A high pollution advisory in effect for all of Maricopa County. Our ozone concentrations reaching unhealthy levels here in the valley for people with breathing sensitivities. If you suffer from asthma, COPD, today might be a good day to limit your time outside, as that ozone could certainly impact your breathing. And know that tomorrow we will be under an ozone high pollution advisory again. It's possible that could be extended into Wednesday as well, as high pressure dominates our skies. Safe, mostly clear, all of that in ingredients rather for that ozone creation. We'll talk about whether there's any relief from these dangerously hot temperatures in that 7-day forecast in just a bit.
Well, psyched about self-driving cars, Jimmy Kimmel taking on the trend deciding to pull a prank on his right-hand man, Guillermo, to try to get him on board.
Well, he plays a superhero on the big screen and is taking that strength of sorcery into the streets. How actor Benedict Cumberbatch ended up saving a man in danger.
Center. Left, right, center. Left, right, center. Left, right, center.
Well, every year, thousands of children are hurt or even killed because of something that is completely preventable. We're talking about front-end crashes. It's the opposite of backing over something. Instead, the driver moves forward and unknowingly hits a small child. This happens most often in driveways or parking lots. Tonight on ABC 15 News at 6, an Operation Safe Road special report showing the simple steps that you can take to avoid this type of tragedy.
ABC 15 Arizona is taking action to make our roads safer. And if you have a story idea, a concern, a solution for all of us, email us roads@abc15.com or call our hotline 1-833-AZ-ROADS.
So Google has been testing their self-driving cars called Waymo in the Valley. It's been a few years now, and a little later this year, you'll actually be able to book one for a ride.
So Waymo brought out Jimmy Kimmel's right-hand man Guillermo to the town for a commercial, but they didn't tell him it was for a self-driving car.
I got a cooler full of delicious, refreshing salami mist. We're gonna drive around town and give it out.
I'll actually be right back.
What's happening?
This is driving by itself?
Poor Guillermo. No word on where the drive started, but we do know that Guillermo wrapped up that ride with a stop at Los Favoritos Taco Shop at Chandler and Dobson. Oh, poor guy gets put through so much with Jimmy.
Come see us again, Guillermo. Hey, Solo reaping the benefits after a pretty slow weekend at the movies. It's slow for Solo, though. Let's not beat around the bush. The Star Wars spinoff staying #1, perhaps in name only, a couple of weeks in a row. It pulled in about $148 million so far. That's still a lot less than Rogue One earned in its debut weekend. Deadpool 2 stayed in the #2 spot, while sailing thriller Adrift debuted at #3. He plays a superhero, a sorcerer on the big screen, but he doesn't need superpowers to stop real-life crime. Benedict Cumberbatch reportedly stopping a group of criminals trying to rob a delivery guy. Now, the actor didn't hesitate. Cumberbatch jumped out of his Uber, pulled the attackers off until they gave up and ran away. If you're looking for something fun to do with the family for this summer without leaving our state, we've got the answer for you.
And this one's backed by popular demand. Our Smart Shopper team bringing back this deal of the day that was your favorite this time last year, and only this time it's even better.
Welcome to your home away from home, the Arizona Grand Resort and Spa.
Arizona Grand Resort and Spa features a 20,000 square foot athletic club and spa, 6 unique dining venues, and we just completed a $13 million renovation of all 744 suites. Perfect place for your staycation this summer.
Check out this king suite with picturesque views. A room like this would normally cost about $149, but the Arizona Grand is teaming up with us for a Smart Shopper deal of the day. You'll score a king suite room for $79 a night, Sunday through Thursday, and on select Fridays. It will be $109 for Saturday nights. And you're going to score half off the resort fee, so it'll be $25 a night versus $50.
Plus, they're throwing in 10 wristbands for you to enjoy at this tropical desert oasis for your entire stay. Have fun.
This area is arguably the best part of the resort for family fun. They have a lazy river, slides, a wave pool, and so much more. So make our Smart Shopper deal of the day yours. You have until 6 p.m. Wednesday night to call and mention Smart Shopper, or go online and enter the promo code ABC15. You can book your stay dates all the way through September 15th. We have all the details on our website. Go to abc15.com/smartshopper.
There are some stipulations. The deal excludes holidays. They have certain blackout dates, certain Fridays, subject to availability too.
And Chelsea had warned us you got to book fast, and so you literally took that to heart.
Yes. This morning I went and looked it up. I said, look, we got to do a staycation. We were planning on it, the full Spindle 7.
I mean, I was going to say, for family of 7,
yes,
it's a great deal what you were telling me about over
the
at our
kids are gonna
desk.
flip for the water park for sure.
Yeah, the Oasis Water Park, you get in early apparently. There's food and spa deals, so have fun. Go check it out.
All right.
And as you head out for summer plans, more airlines are offering cheaper fares, but as Joe lets you know, they do come with some restrictions.
We are following this developing story out of Scottsdale. We now have a name to go with the suspect as we learn he may have taken a fifth life during this heinous killing spree. Police telling ABC News Dwight Jones is dead. ABC 15's Nohelani Graff following this story since yesterday morning. Joining us now live near Scottsdale and Shea. Nohe, what happens now with this case?
So the next step, Dan, is figuring out exactly how Dwight Jones is connected to each one of his victims and potentially updating the timeline now that, as you mentioned, they know there is a fifth victim. At this hour, police are still lining the street back there. We know that they all rushed here first thing this morning after tracking Jones to the extended stay hotel that is back there, where police tell ABC News he had been staying for some time. Police say as they cleared out other guests from that hotel, that's when they heard several gunshots from inside Jones's room, eventually making their way inside and finding his body, an apparent suicide. Now, investigators are confident that they have their man who shot a forensic psychiatrist, 2 paralegals, a life coach, and now a fifth person. And just to give you a little bit of context here and pinpoint this location, this morning I could actually hear those sirens from 8 miles away, the scene of the second crime where Jones allegedly shot those 2 paralegals at the law office. And I could hear them as they passed by. Dan and Danielle.
All right, Nohelani Graff following the latest details from that scene for us. Thank you, Nohe. Just down Shea Boulevard in Fountain Hills, as we mentioned earlier, we're now hearing about a fifth murder. ABC 15's Katie Connor has the latest on that.
Now, sources are telling us that this is all tied to the suspect, a fifth murder. All morning long, we watched detectives go in and out of the home up there at the top of the hill. Let's go to this video. We've watched detectives go in and out collecting evidence, but police are staying pretty tight-lipped about the victim. Neighbors tell me an older couple does live at that home, but at this time it's unclear how they are tied to the suspect. And that's who law enforcement sources are telling us is Dwight Jones. Police say the suspect is tied to the deadly shooting of psychiatrist Stephen Pitt, the 2 paralegals in Old Town Scottsdale, and to a psychologist also in Scottsdale. Sources say ballistics from the scene at the psychologist's office linked him to the other shooting. Now, back out here at this scene, we are trying to talk to neighbors to learn a little bit more about the couple. As soon as we do, we'll pass all that information along to everyone at home. Reporting from Fountain Hills, Katie Connor, ABC 15, Arizona.
Of course, this is a very active investigation right now, so stay with ABC 15. We are online when we're on the air, and of course our free mobile app for any new updates as soon as they come in.
Only on ABC 15, veterans and first responders giving back to people who really could use it right now. It's been more than a month since the Tinder fire first broke out. There's still so many people who can't even begin to start rebuilding. So
ABC 15's Nick Saletti, he went to Happy Jack in Coconino County, where he saw firsthand what is being done to help these folks out.
It's hard to believe, but this pile of debris used to be someone's house. But all of that changed just a few weeks ago as flames from the Tinder fire reduced this home and dozens more to burning pieces of metal and wood, and brought Kevin Lowe's dreams down with it.
You think about all the stuff you lost in your home, and it's just hard.
You don't ever really get used to seeing someone so crushed and devastated.
Magdi Zachary and 25 other volunteers with Team Rubicon have been here in Happy Jack, bulldozing, clearing debris, and giving hope to the dozens of families who walked away with just the clothes on their backs.
Everything is completely gone.
These guys were working hard, gave me a boost, kicked me in the pants, told me to, put a smile on, and it really, really helped me a lot.
It's a group of mostly veterans teamed up with first responders, helping people from all ends of the globe rebuild after natural disaster.
And I'm actually standing in one of those homes that was destroyed by the Tinder fire right now. You can see this was the garage here, and on the floor it's just coated with ash and debris. And right next to me, this used to be the washer and dryer. It's hard to tell because the heat of the flames melted it. But this family truly lost everything.
There's nothing to salvage.
At every step, Team Rubicon is here, taking care of the physical and emotional heavy lifting, turning what was supposed to be a week-long assignment
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
into a lifetime of gratitude. Reporting in Happy Jack, Nick Saletti, ABC 15, Arizona.
Such an incredible effort happening there. If you'd like more information on Team Rubicon and their mission, you can find it on abc15.com. A sad reminder this afternoon about how quickly a fun day in the water can turn deadly. A man in his 30s died yesterday while tubing on the Salt River. His friends telling deputies he went to grab a tube that was floating away and went underwater. His friends tried to perform CPR, but sadly he didn't make it.
And this story just tragic. The body of an 8-year-old boy with autism found in the Colorado River. Jeremy Duncan disappeared Saturday in Bullhead City, and then yesterday morning his body was found by a kayaker. Bullhead City police say the circumstances of that drowning are now being investigated. Caught on camera, there are dance moves that could have been deadly. An FBI agent breaking it down at a Denver club overnight. Watch this. The backhand spring, the gun flies out of the holster. When he picks it up, the gun fires around into a man's leg. The agent just walking off like wasn't a big deal. Maybe he didn't know what happened. That other guy is going to be okay, but it's not clear if the agent will be disciplined by the FBI. We do know that police are investigating.
A bittersweet moment in Florida as the class of 2018 graduates from Stoneman Douglas High School months after that deadly shooting. The surprise celebrity speaker bringing hope to that community.
And do you need some extra cash for the summer? Well, you can now stand out from the crowd when it comes to landing that seasonal job.
We are keeping a close eye on Wall Street and your money. Right now, the Dow is up 155 points, sitting at 24,790. Okay, it's hot, and it's also the time a lot of us try to head for cooler weather. You might find better prices as airlines are now offering base rates, but those rates come with a lot of restrictions. Joe lets you know what can happen if you don't read the fine print.
Have you booked on American, United, or Delta Airlines lately? There's a new category, basic economy, with many restrictions. It's the best price and an answer to the growing popularity of Frontier and Spirit Airlines, low-cost, bare-bones service. But viewer Anthony says on American, on the second leg of his trip, he was forced to pay $100 mid-trip for baggage fees when the original gate attendants thought our bags fit fine. All right, let's take a look. I found United, American, and Delta do state clearly basic means you won't get assigned seats, may not sit together, and you board last. With Delta, you can't put your carry-on in the overhead bin. But on United and American, Anthony's airline, no carry-ons, one personal item that must fit under the seat, no access to the bin. Anthony says these are the bags he brought on. He says he bought his tickets through a third-party site saying he didn't know they were economy. American Airlines says the restrictions are clearly marked, although they did reach out to Anthony about this. The lesson here, even though it's a big airline, these discounts come with a lot of restrictions. Know what they are. Also, travel light and know you could be sitting in the middle seat. I'm investigator Joe Ducey. Have a great day. If you got a problem, let me know.
It was deemed the world's longest flight, totaling 19 hours, and after getting rid of it a few years ago, it's making a comeback. Singapore announcing it will bring back the flight from Newark, New Jersey to Singapore, with flights starting at around $1,500 in the fall. The flight was canceled back in 2013 due to budget costs. Music mayhem. A popular ticket website shut down after 26 million people's personal info possibly was stolen. We're talking about Ticketfly. They say they had to take the website offline after names and addresses and phone numbers were all at risk. While they fix the breach, you'll have to go to a different website to get tickets or go to the venue in person.
Workers are wanted. New grads looking to jumpstart a career are in luck because there's a lot of opportunity this week. Tomorrow, it's the West Valley Career Fair at the Renaissance Glendale Hotel and Spa. This is a great one for all you criminal justice majors. Both Phoenix PD and the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office will be there. Also tomorrow, get a jump on the jobs of the future at the Arizona Tech Career Fair. This one's for technology jobs at some of the Valley's biggest companies. That's happening at the Tempe Center for the Arts. And then on Thursday, a hiring fair exclusively for our veterans. This one's at University of Phoenix Stadium. Employers are looking for service members. Some of those employers include Allstate, the Mayo Clinic, and Phoenix Police. And some more good news if you're looking for a job, especially a summer gig. Nearly half of employers in the U.S. do plan to hire summer seasonal workers.
Yeah, what's better about that is that it sounds like a lot of those jobs will probably turn into permanent positions. There's a chance of that anyway. Career Builders saying most places are looking for high school and college students. 26% are looking for the other end of the spectrum, the retirees. Customer service, IT, and office support are some of the most common jobs that you're going to find. And now is the time to start applying. And a tip, be flexible about the shifts you can work and you are more likely to get hired.
You might want to hug your pet a little tighter this morning. We're going to talk more about the benefits that researchers point to when it comes to your emotional well-being.
Not only is it going to be toasty as you step outside, our burn time under 15 minutes, so make sure you've got sunblock on, protect your skin. We'll talk about those warming temperatures in your most accurate forecast.
Across the nation, the senior class of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School graduated just months after that deadly attack at their Florida school, but there were 4 chairs empty. In fact, one mother accepted her son's diploma while wearing a shirt that said, quote, "This should be my son." Late night host Jimmy Fallon made a surprise commencement speech thanking the class for their bravery and their activism, and also telling them to persevere in the face of difficulty. You'll remember those students organized dozens of March for Our Lives rallies all across the country, and now they're getting ready for the next phase. The Twitter pages for the March for Our Lives account and student organizers Emma Gonzalez and David Hogg hinted at a big announcement. We'll keep an eye on what's happening and be sure to pass that along to you as soon as we find out.
Well, a local Air Force veteran gets a life-changing gift after years of struggling. Donald Gray suffered a life-threatening illness and triple bypass surgery 3 years ago. The mounting medical bills cost him his car and his home. Caliber Collision and Geico teamed up to refurbish a car, and they surprised him with that yesterday.
I travel 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, so this is going to cut it down to an hour a day. So it gives me more time to do other things.
You can tell with Baxter there, the D-backs had something planned, so they popped the trunk and they presented Gray with his very own D-backs jersey.
We've got some health news for you this morning. A new study is finding flu vaccines may be especially helpful for kids who suffer from asthma. The study was published in the Journal of Pediatrics and found that asthma sufferers respond better to emergency treatment if they've gotten a flu shot. And this is especially true for preschool-aged kids. Some 40% of emergency treatments for asthma attacks do not work if the patient has not been immunized.
Rising drug prices putting seniors in a bind. There is a brand new government report finding that drug companies are targeting medicines most commonly prescribed to Medicare patients for the biggest price hikes. The Health and Human Services Department saying that diabetes and cholesterol medicines and asthma inhalers are the biggest problems. Curbing phone addiction, that is the topic of today's Big Apple event. That is according to a recent Bloomberg report on new additions to help people monitor the time they spend on certain apps. Software updates and productivity tools are expected to be unveiled at the WWDC, Apple's annual Web Developer Conference in San Jose. Apple could also preview improvements to its voice assistant Siri. CEO Tim Cook is hosting that event.
A new study is saying thousands of women may not need to go through chemotherapy if they've been diagnosed with breast cancer. ABC's Maggie Rulli has more.
It's the largest study ever done about breast cancer treatment, and its main finding is that at least 70% of early-stage breast cancer patients may not need chemotherapy while battling the disease. It's welcome news to those who've experienced it.
I had nausea. I also then lost my hair. It felt like the worst flu I'd ever had, times 10. And you have absolutely no energy.
The study used a gene test done on tumors to help decide whether a woman would benefit from chemo or if they could receive hormone therapy. Using this test, researchers found that chemotherapy did not add any benefit in survival rates or reoccurrence for most women. But researchers say some women 50 and younger in high-risk groups might still need chemo.
This is for the woman at intermediate risk for that cancer to recur. So we used to say for that group of women in terms of chemotherapy, better safe than sorry. This trial using this type of genetic test lets us say to those women, you will do fine without chemotherapy and spare all of the stuff that comes along with that.
Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
Well, there are millions of animals waiting for homes in shelters across the country, and bringing one home could change your life, literally.
Yeah, Mayo Clinic telling us all of the puppy kisses and kitten cuddles have an incredible effect on your emotional well-being.
Pets help decrease your loneliness, and they help your self-worth. I mean, how can you feel lonely and unworthy if you have a 10-pound ball of pure love jumping 3 feet to just greet you?
You know, that's a scientific label there, 10-pound ball of pure love. That sounds great to us. Not only are they good for your mental health, Mayo Clinic says pet parents tend to live longer and have stronger immune systems.
Well, it is a service that nearly 500,000 kids in Arizona depend on, and it is back for the summer. We're talking about those free or reduced school lunches. The Summer Buddies free lunch program starts today in Maricopa County. All kids age 18 and under can get a free meal at locations all across the valley. To find the closest spot for you, just head to maricopa.gov/summerfood.
You know, as this latest heat wave grips our state, cities across the valley, they're prepared to help those in need. So take advantage of these services. Officials have set up heat relief stations, providing plenty of water and a place to cool down. All those dots and the triangles that you see on your screen, they're spread out across the valley. That's where you can find them. And you can find a link with more information, more details on those locations on the homepage right at abc15.com. So easy to find. Take advantage, especially if you're finding that you need a better place to stay cool.
Yeah, especially because once you realize you need something like that, you're probably flirting with it being too late at that point.
Yeah, and the temperature gauge approaching 100,
It
getting
is,
close.
yeah, and we're likely going to be in the triple digits across most of the valley through that lunch hour. So be prepared if you've got errands to run. Maybe you're heading out soon. Let's talk about that most accurate forecast. Our heat risk climbing into the high range across parts of the valley today. That means most of us are at risk as those temperatures soar to well above average. We are officially under an excessive heat warning until 8 o'clock here tonight. Again, most of the valley included in that, as our high temperatures will likely top out above 105 and end up close to 110 here this afternoon. So under these conditions, our risk of heat illness tends to climb, and that is why that heat alert was issued. And it's also why it is an ABC 15 weather action day, because we want to make sure that you're prepared for these dangerously hot temperatures. Now you'll notice we're already to 98 degrees. It's really dry out there. Look at that dew point sitting in the mid 20s. So that, and looking at our high temperature, puts our relative humidity at just 7%. So it is a dry afternoon. We've got those clear skies, and that temperature is just going to keep on climbing. You'll notice we'll likely be in those hundreds by lunchtime, 106 by 2 o'clock, 107 by 3. And today, watch for that high temperature of 109, likely hitting around 4 to 5 o'clock. That's likely when our temperature will peak before it starts to trend back down. That 109 is a degree hotter than where we were yesterday. We'll likely hold on to those hundreds through 8 o'clock. That's when that excessive heat warning expires, and then we start to drop into those mid 90s by 10 o'clock here this evening. So a hot afternoon, a hot evening, and a dry one too. A few thin high clouds start to drift in later this afternoon, and we'll likely see some over the next few days, but overall mostly sunny and looking dry. 109 puts us 8 degrees above the average. The record today is actually 115, set just 2 years ago in 2016. So no record-breaking heat, but either way, it's dangerous heat as those temperatures soar. 111 today in Bullhead City. Sedona could hit those triple digits. We're looking at highs in the 90s today in Payson, 93 in Prescott. And overnight, not getting a whole lot of relief, at least not in central Arizona and in our valley cities. Our lows dropping into the mid to upper 70s tonight into early tomorrow morning. Our lows by tomorrow morning in Flagstaff down to 40 degrees. So if you do want to get outdoors, you got to start early. Right around sunrise is typically our coolest point of the day. Our lows in the valley will drop into the mid 70s in Mesa. So tomorrow morning, that's what we'll see. That temperature down to 72 by sunrise in Chandler. But again, those afternoon temperatures in the yellow near 110. And I wouldn't completely rule out seeing 110 in spots like Ahwatukee or Maricopa this afternoon. 109 today in Levine, 107 in Glendale, and 109 in Litchfield Park. Now the next few days, temperatures will actually be dropping by a few degrees. We get a little bit of high level moisture. That'll bring some high clouds, but our temperatures still topping 105 each afternoon. So tomorrow we're up to 107. By Wednesday, 105, and it's possible we could get even hotter by the end of the week. So a little bit of moisture drops our temperatures, then that ridge of high pressure builds back in, and by Friday into Saturday, we're talking potentially 110 to 111. So start thinking ahead, make those indoor plans this upcoming weekend.
LeBron James hopes that his Cleveland Cavs could steal Game 2 of the NBA Finals in Oakland, but Steph Curry and company, yeah, they had other plans. Curry tying an NBA Finals record with three-pointers, including a couple of just demoralizing circus shots. They were crazy. Curry finishing with 33 points. The Warriors finished with the win. They are now up 2 games to none. The series now goes back to Cleveland. Watch this shot right here. You got to see it fall away and swish. What else, right? A live coverage of Game 3 Wednesday night. It begins at 5:30 right here only on ABC 15 Arizona.
Serena Williams has withdrawn from the French Open because of an injury. She was set to play Maria Sharapova in a highly anticipated match of the tournament. Serena playing in her first tournament since giving birth.
Getting to know the Valley without breaking the bank. The unique staycation deal that'll get you around Scottsdale and Tempe. Here are the results of our poll of the day. How do you plan to stay cool in the heat? This is a live poll going on right now. Here's what you all are saying. 81% just staying inside, cabin fever, head to the pool 4%, get out of town 15%.
Okay, well, Faye Frederick, she's joining us now with a look at what we're working on for the Now at 4. What about you, Faye? How do you beat the heat?
I call caving it. It's when you close all the shutters, the curtains, and you stay inside in the dark.
I like it.
And maybe watch TV, right? Hopefully you're watching at 4 o'clock because we are going to have the very latest on the story making national headlines. It's happening right here in the Valley. You guys have been talking about it all morning. 4 murders in just a few days. The suspected killer, now identified as Dwight Jones, taking his own life as police swarm in. Many questions still to answer on all this, the biggest being why. We are going to have team coverage coming your way at 4 o'clock, so hopefully you can join us from a nice, cool space.
I like it. All right, thanks, Faye. Hey, maybe you're planning a staycation? Well, ditch the car and get a cool tour of Scottsdale or Tempe. Segway of Scottsdale offering up quite the deal where you can zoom through Old Town Scottsdale for just $59. It is normally $109 for a ride. It's 2 hours of fun. Heading to Tempe Town Lake, well, you can book a 4-mile ride for $49, regularly $99, and you don't have to worry about the heat because apparently the tours start early.
Have you ever ridden a Segway Paul Blart Mall Cop style?
I haven't. I wish I were as skilled as Paul Blart Mall Cop. Do you know what we're talking about, Paul Blart?
I do.
A great time to take
Thank
advantage.
you, but I've never ridden one either, so that's why I was looking at you.
Your
like,
face
no.
is priceless there.
It sounds a little hot for me, but hey, at least they start early, and make sure if you are doing things like that, of course, that you're hydrating. I sound like a broken record, but you got to stay safe in this heat. A weather action day and excessive heat warning until 8 o'clock, 109 today.
All right, we'll see you back here at 4.